So let us start with their weights ratio. Their weights ratio lifted up a little bit, but nothing. I mean, it's at 50. That's okay. It just tells us that bitcoins are coming in from whales more than yesterday. But it's not indicating anything that would be extremely bearish at the moment, even if we maintain a very high level in the 30-day moving average. And I mean, just to be honest, that still looks for me like a distribution phase. Even we are here almost and very close to create this double bottom I have mentioned in June, where it would be my expectations if these guys don't want really to go directly to 13k or even to 12k, for example, something where I think in the next month could happen, just to decline even more next month. Even, I mean, 2023, in my opinion, it's going to be hell. So yeah, that's something I can imagine. That's the weights ratio 30 days moving average. Everything they did since August 2019, it was declining, and since then the trend is extremely clear, is lifting up again. Doesn't mean, as you see, doesn't mean that we cannot make any new all-time highs just because of that. But the weights ratio 30 days moving average is a nice indicator for, if you are checking and analyzing the next few weeks, for example, 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks. And we know that all these weights ratio here didn't play out, in my opinion. I mean, I can imagine that it took just, almost a month to play out afterwards. I really, it's a mystery for me why it didn't play out, because it was such a rising movement. But so let us go forward. The weights ratio 30 hours moving average maintains above of 90. So it's indicating they're still sending, and we will talk about that in the flow activity. So it lifted up, it declined, it lifted up again, and right now it maintains above of 90. As you know, above of 90, usually that means they want to push the price down. At the same time, we can see that the stablecoin reserves on exchanges was lifting up, now declined, lifted up, but this looks not really organic for me. However, it maintains relatively low, and stablecoin supply, as you can see, lifted up, declined, lifted up a little bit, but it's indicating that they are just removing capital from the crypto market. That's what's happening at the moment. So once again, they just give us the signals, hey, we will push up again a little bit, and that's what they happened. Right now we have a tiny trade range between 19.5 and 90, so a little bit doing what they did here, and that looks, at least based on Wyckoff, a little bit like redistribution. We are still, what I have mentioned in March and April, hey guys, that doesn't look like accumulation, that looks like redistribution, because the pattern between redistribution and accumulation looks similar. But you have certain factors, basically poor quality release, for example, that gives you the opportunity to detect a redistribution. In my opinion, they are redistributing. That's what they do, and that's why it looks like a stair, I mean, redistribution, down, more distribution, down, more distribution, down, and so on and so forth. So, and that happened just before. Then we lifted up, then more down, and we will check something else, because, some people, in my opinion, just maybe Inspo is checking the market in a very complex and complicated way. Maybe that's it, why some people miss the understanding that I have. But we will talk about that. It's about flow activity. So now let us talk a little bit about the flow activity. But first of all, I just want to make a comment. Because, I have tweeted yesterday, be careful, we received 7,000 Bitcoins in few hours, and so on and so forth. And as usual, when I'm tweeting something, it takes just few seconds. And you will have a bunch of experts telling you that what you are saying, it's bullshit, or come on, 7,000 Bitcoins, it's peanuts. Okay, it's peanuts. Well, I will show you how peanuts that is. That's now the daily. So if you see, since the whole August was in inflow activity relatively flat, so it wasn't really big, absolutely not. The only where we had a huge amount was here, that was actually beginning of May, when we dropped very hard, and mid of June, when we also dropped then from almost, what was that, 29k to finally 18k, 70k, So since then, the inflow activity declined. And since beginning of August, or I would say since mid of August, the inflow activity, the inflow volume is lifting up again. And if we had, for example, let me check, so I can show you that. That was, for example, in the whole, since we reached our level, let me check, that was since end of July, we had in mid-August the highest inflow volume, 25,000 Bitcoins. What happened afterwards? We dumped hard. We dumped actually from 24 to 20,600. Peanuts. That's what they say, peanuts. Because they don't understand the market, that's the problem. Why 7,000 Bitcoins? It's peanuts. Well, if we check what's happening right now, we have more inflow activity than end of August, then August 31st, August 25th, and we are hitting right now to mid of August. So they are sending a lot of Bitcoins. No, it's not the same like, for example, in June. No, it's not the same like in May. But to be honest, we didn't have this huge volume when we started to dump our dump phase in mid of November. So even the volume, and that's the aggregated, you can see that the volume is rising. The volume is rising at the same time. Also means they are selling. They are selling. We don't have sold all these Bitcoins, in my opinion. They are still on centralized exchanges. They are sending more. That's the whole thing. They are sending more. So it doesn't mean we can't go up again. It's not my point. My point is not that we can't go up again like we did here, but it also means we will go down again. It's not going to end in a bull run. We are not going to make new all-time highs. We can go up to 25. We can go even up to 26 or maybe 27. And then we will drop hard afterwards, because that's the game. When people think 7k BTC in few hours are peanuts, well, it is not, because that's what the market has shown us Many times it's not. And if you want to absorb all these Bitcoins, you need money to buy them. At the same time, the stablecoin supply is declining. What does that mean to us? That's an indicator that less money is flowing in the market. So I don't, to be honest, it's a really hard, because many people, they make such comments, and sometimes I think, oh my god, another one. But I'm tired to explain that every time again, and that's why I'm recording these videos. That's why I'm offering also a free version of it, just to give you the opportunity to understand how it works. If they want to push up the price, they can do it right now without any problem, because the whole market is in hands of few. That's it. If they really want to make new all-time highs, we could make new all-time highs in this month, in few weeks, if they want. They don't want. That's the matter. They don't want. That's the thing. So 7,000 Bitcoins, it's a lot in few hours, when you know that they can push the price down very hard just with 30,000-40,000 Bitcoins, and they are accumulating. And that's why I tweet and say, be careful with that. So let us now go forward, because usually this chapter is not the, it's not really the most long one. As you see here, we received a lot of Bitcoins. I mean, that was yesterday, 4,500 Bitcoins at once, and here, so the 7,000 Bitcoins afterwards, another 2,000 Bitcoins, couple hours later, another 2,000 Bitcoins, another couple hours later, another 2,000 Bitcoins, and so on and so forth. They are accumulating. That's preparation what they are doing. I flipped a little bit to bullish, and still I think we are not done and we can go up, but it looks like we will go down even more first. I would expect a double bottom formation first, and then maybe we can go up to 26. But that's something, it's really hard to predict at the moment what the market could do the next. We know, and another analyst just tweeted about that, the weak conditions and situation of centralized exchanges. I was mentioning many times in my analysis, and he confirmed that's a second source, neutral source, that's confirming it. And that's really hard for exchanges to survive that. And I know that Binance, for example, they refilled their insurance funds. Usually the insurance funds, when they liquidate traders, part of the money goes directly to the insurance funds. And I remember last year in the May crash, Binance was in big trouble because their insurance funds were decreasing very, very quick, because of lending, because of different central exchange operations, but they had to pay out people also because they were taking profit. And that's something they are not going to allow this time. It's not going to happen. And that's why we have those shakeouts, this volatility, pump, dump, pump, dump. I mean, Bitcoin is not even using any opportunity to lift up, like SPY, for example. If you check SPY, it's performing much better than Bitcoin. SPX as well. They are missing it. It's, because the sell resistance, it's really big. Something you should have in mind. So let us go forward. Well, then let us talk about what's happening here. Funding rate, lifting up. After it declined very hard, now it's lifting up. Open interest, after the last dump, it's coming slowly back. So it declined, it lifted up, it declined, it's lifting up, but not that big. The leverage ratio is making something similar. So it lifted up a lot, it declined, and it's lifting up slowly right now. So it's indicating that they are demanding more longs at the moment, but as I know from blockchain whispers, at least based on Binance, that also shorts are coming. So if shorts are coming in because people are flipping now again to bearish and say, I don't trust that anymore, I think we will go down, then that could start to change a little bit the situation. Not that big, but a little bit. Because then they will push up to liquidate late shorts and then general shorts. That's something I would expect. However, here related to stablecoins and derivative exchanges, you see they are taking profit. So, wow, a lot. I mean, really a lot. 150 million here, another 150 million here, 70, 90, so a lot. While right now coming 200 million, while now it seems funding rate is declining. Also here to Bitcoins, we can see we are receiving here 4,500 Bitcoins in the last 2 hours to derivative exchanges. We had here 4,000, another 4,000. So the activity is coming back again and the volume. So we need to be careful because that also means they are preparing something. Funding rate, let me check. That's the aggregated and that's Binance. I just want to refresh to have the, yeah. So they didn't liquidate anything big. They are doing what they did just before the big dump. They are just liquidating late shorts, but just because we have a lot of longs, even with those volatility, we are, for example, here liquidating 100 Bitcoins in longs and 65 in shorts. So even more longs, even the price didn't change a lot, you know. And that's what's happening at the moment. Also here, for example, they liquidated longs again. So that's what they are doing. They liquidated here longs and shorts, and here mainly only shorts. Just to attract more longs, it seems. Open interest is lifting up a little bit, nothing big, and as you see, the funding rate, as mentioned just a few minutes ago, it's lifting up. So indicating they are demanding more longs again. On Binance, it looks a little bit different. That's only Binance. So what we see here is that the funding rate is lifting up. It is the same way, but leverage ratio and open interest. So it looks a little bit different. At the moment, looks interesting. We need to see if they are going to flip to shorts now again and demanding more shorts, something I can't see at the moment. So let us go directly to BitMEX. I will, well, yeah, as mentioned. So as you see here, we still have much more longs than shorts. I mean, 64 to 36. We don't need to talk about that. On Ethereum, it looks completely different. We have here more shorts than longs. That's also crazy, because usually I would say, doesn't make sense. So usually both should correlate together, but not in that case. So Ethereum traders, future traders, expecting more move to the downside, but on Binance, moon next. That's what they are saying. So I don't think that's going to happen. As long we maintain with such a big gap between longs and shorts, in my opinion, we will go up and then nuke afterwards just to liquidate all these longs like we did in the last weeks, well, all the time. Let us take a look to Binance on Kingfisher. No, Kingfisher, no. Not again. Come, let me try. Now it looks good. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, we still have here this short cluster at 19.7. I said yesterday we need to be careful. 19.1, 19.3, a lot of volume there around. So we did 19.4. I said 19.5 is going to be a challenge to have an easy break to the upside. I don't think, and it matches very, very well to this high leverage short cluster here. And well, as you see, we have a lot more on the low leverage side on both sides. Even the Binance, I don't know, did we had 70 millions yesterday? If so, we declined even by 10 millions again. But let us take a look. Okay. Let me start again. That's how it looks. And we have here a cluster, and the next bigger cluster would be here. So let us see if that matches very well to FTX. I see that the Fed is still saying that 2% inflation rate is their main goal. So you know that. Okay, that looks a little bit different. Also here declined in volume. However, we have the biggest liquidation cluster on the long side, still on the long side. But it declined a lot on FTX. I don't know if that's Kingfisher or FTX. If it's FTX, then it seems they have a big problem, in my opinion. So, okay, very interesting. Let us go forward. So, let us check what's happening here. Well, since we went down again, as you see, they didn't accumulate. At least based on CBD, it doesn't really look like they distributed even more when we reached 19,450. Now they are lifting up again and declining. It matches also a little bit with the aggregated, and the crazy thing is that aggregated correlates perfect with the future market. Even Bitcoin margin and stablecoin margin contract. That's really crazy. So, but you know, at least based on CBD, nothing big happening here. Binance, they both, and it seems they are right now distributing again. So also nothing big here. Bitfinex, it's really clear what Bitfinex is doing. It's pure distribution what they are doing. It's nothing else. Sell, sell, sell as much as you can. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But maybe if it's Bitfinex itself reducing their reserves, maybe a liquidity issue. So, and yeah, also very interesting that Coinbase stopped to buy. They really just stopped. I don't know why exactly. Usually they are pushing up more. Maybe indicating we are more interested to buy the next dip. So also that would match to my expectations at the moment, to be honest, as you know. So let us go forward and check what entities are doing. Retailers buying, but nothing big anymore. So, but balances lifting up. Shrimps declined a little bit, but the trend is positive. These guys here declined also, But also here, the trend is, we can say everything with less than 100 Bitcoin is bullish. That's a statement I can say. Every entity that has less than 100 Bitcoin is bullish. I mean, as mentioned many times, it looks like they're buying 200,000 Bitcoins. That's not the case, but is the entity that's accumulating more at the moment. These guys here, lifted up, declining, not doing anything. At least that's not accumulation. entities declined even more, are right now at 4,930,000, so not doing anything. They are not accumulating. Someone asked me, hey Inspo, when you say entities are sending spot to centralized exchanges, of course that's bearish, but why it's bearish to derivative exchanges? Well, usually you wouldn't short with Bitcoin because it's your underlying asset. So it's losing its value while you are shorting it. So the only way how it makes sense, if you can, and that's the conditions, if you can drive the market, if you have enough volume to drive the price of an asset, you send X thousand Bitcoins to spot exchanges and accumulate a little bit. At the same time, you send and place some orders in upper levels for your short entry. Then you push the price up. They trigger your shorts, and then you start to sell your Bitcoins. Usually you would say, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. Right, you're right. At the moment, it doesn't make sense, but the whole story is longer. When they are done, when they push the price down and they short generated enough Bitcoins, because that's what you will get if you are using Bitcoin collateral futures, you get your Bitcoin. So you dumped, but at the same time, you are gaining Bitcoins. I don't know what kind of leverage they use, but if they know, hey, it's riskless because we are the guys with the high volume, we can decline the price. Well, I mean, it's for free. They dump, they get money with that. Afterwards, they flip, they take profit from its Bitcoin collateral futures and start to long with that. As they sold spot, they are getting stablecoins for that. So we are not going to track that because the only thing we can track is the preparation, weights ratio, inflow activity, and so on. Everything that happens on the centralized exchanges is for us a mystery. We don't know what's happening there. But the story goes further. They take the stablecoins and start to buy Bitcoin while they are longing with Bitcoin collateral, making more Bitcoins. And that's why these guys are rising from one day to another their balances again without to see any big impact to the price. That's, of course, we don't have any proof because otherwise we need to track every single step on the centralized exchanges, something we can't, but it's for me the most logical way how to trade with Bitcoin collateral even then. And what these guys are doing, it wouldn't be the first time because it's always the same. We don't have any big impact to the price action. And then they come and show you they just bought or raised their balances by 10, 15,000 Bitcoin. And you say, how is that possible? Well, in my opinion, that's the only reason why they are using a lot of Bitcoins for future trading. Because they are using Bitcoin collateral for shorts and for longs. And as long you know that you have the volume and the power to drive the price, It's the most, I mean, logical way to make money with that. I would do that in that way. So, well, however, as you see, entities reduced again. They are not accumulating at all. Absolutely not. And even here, I mean, these guys are more linked to centralized exchanges. So I don't care a lot what these guys are doing, to be honest, but it matches very well. That's lifting up because also their reserves on centralized exchanges are lifting up again, indicating they are accumulating bitcoins on centralized exchanges, something that's usually not bullish at all. So yeah, I can imagine we will go down even more. We will break, it will take time, we will retest 18.5 because we know we have a gamma wall there. It will take a little bit of time. At the moment 19.5 looks solid, doesn't mean, and I have mentioned several times, I would love to see 19.5 confirmation, retest and fail, and that's what happened today. We went directly to, let me see, 19,458 at least on Bitget, and since then we are maintaining that level. So we are maintaining between 19 and 19.5. We retested several times, we failed, and in my opinion the consequence is we should go down again. That's what I think. 18k still on the table. So I closed my long. I'm short now. Risky, but brave. So we can see what is happening here to Coinbase, for example, right now. What we see here is still that everything below 18k is full of volume, full of order volume. But until then, nothing big. Also on Coinbase. And that matches also very well to what I think that we can go more to the downside. On the upside, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, here a little bit, there a little bit, but nothing. At the moment, just waiting here with, yeah, an order that's, you know, as soon as they absorb some, they put more and more money there. And you see, as soon they really want to push down, then they, I mean, that's much more algo trading here, what we can see, as you see. Oh, it's flashing here, very dynamic. That's what we see on FTX, what we see on Bitfinex, but something you will miss on Binance, for example. Deribit, nothing at all. Bitstamp, also here to the upside, well, a little bit here, 20,300, also something I have seen in different exchanges as well, but also here doing exactly the same like Coinbase. The next little wall 18.5, then 18,000, and everything below 18,000 also here volume. I mean, especially below 16.5, a lot of liquidity waiting for what? Binance Spot, also here doing exactly the same. They are here waiting at 20,000. They reduce the volume at 20,300. At least here you can see a lot of volume waiting here. That's Binance Spot until 21. We still have at 19.5 waiting here, nothing big. They are pushing the price down. They are pushing the price down while waiting here to absorb some bitcoins. So it seems they are, you know, just pushing the price while they have these orders here. And from here 18.8 until 18.500, also indicating here some orders waiting, but the big stuff is coming from here. And you can see that very well. If I reduce, it's obvious what they are doing. In my opinion, it's absolutely obvious. We let you go down until 18k, So we have a nice dip, but 17,890 is the max. That's what they are doing. You can see that. And Binance has the biggest liquidity at the moment. So it's obvious. Yeah, at the moment it's not the right time. We will go up a little bit more, then we will go down again, then we will go up again, and then at a certain moment, boom, we'll go down. And we will go down, in my opinion, relatively aggressive. And we will absorb all these orders here, and then we will go to 17.8, and that's it. We will maintain there. We will try to absorb this. I don't think at the moment, I want to see what's going to happen there, because I'm still bullish. I still think that we are not going to see in the next few weeks a huge nuke. I don't think we are going, because if we are going and this year making 15, 14, 13, 12, wow, 2023, 2024, it's going to be a market crash then to zero, because I don't know how, I mean, it would surprise me, but they surprised me with 24K as well. That's the only bottom I was calling since last year, and people laugh at me. And then at the end, we did even less than 20K. So everything is possible. Only data matters. Everything else, I don't care. So let us go forward. Bitfinex doing exactly the same. Also here waiting at 19.4. Also here with some volume but nothing big. And waiting here at 18K. That's it. The next one 17.5, but 18K, they are still waiting there. You can see they are so hot in distribution at the moment. Really so hot. Even the candle was green, Bitfinex was selling. FTX Perp doing exactly the same. Also here 19.9, a lot of volume here, even here 19.5, then pushing the price directly to this, just to these orders here, as you see. And look, I mean, that's really crazy what they are doing right now. So the next order would be the next bigger wall here, 18K. OKEX, nothing. Kraken, 19.8, also here waiting in 19.5. Also here 19.3. So 19.3, 19.4, as you see, the volume, you can also see that the volume here is much bigger than here. So they are pushing the prices to their walls. So 18.5, but the biggest volume starts here, and that's Kraken. So below 18K, we start to see here an order cluster. Also indicating why to lock your liquidity there if you are not expecting to see a price here. So it's obvious, in my opinion, that we will go down. My question is when. BitMEX, okay, BitMEX nothing. I mean, we have here 18,200, a little order, but the next big one 17K, nothing to the upside. So we need to reduce a little to see something, and yes, 19.7. Exactly the same what the other guys are doing at the moment. Binance Futures. Also here, 19.5, 19.3, 17.1, 17.5. But the biggest order here, you can see that here. It's a cluster. And that's between 18K and 18.4. We have here a gap, so I don't know why it's empty, but it is. And yeah, I mean, that's futures. That's a different quality than spot. Also here, Bitfinex derivatives, but here nothing. Kraken futures, nothing. OKEX futures, no, nothing. And FTX spot, also here between 18,200 and 75, a lot of volume. They removed here walls, nothing really to the upside. Right now pushing the price up against the walls here back, then we will go down again, and so on and so forth. So just attracting longs and shorts all the time. I mean, if I wouldn't spend that much time related to this crypto market, I would think that that's pure a casino machine operated by exchanges. But I know that's not happening. At least I know that we have different actors, different algos, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if exchanges are also here playing a bigger role, but in my opinion, they are not the big player here. Partly yes, maybe when it comes to shakeouts, but that's it. So let us talk about my personal conclusion.